You step inside, and the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to the warmth of your safe house. Ugh. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face, light glinting off of steel-rimmed glasses. Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord, part dealmaker, part information broker, one of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the team as he takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Ager's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she... His face has gone ashen. He swallows. Takes a moment to chew in the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? Something in the vault security system cooked her brain. It was too quick to be black ice. Glory nods, her motions robotic and spare. Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. That's right. Ager thrusts a gloved finger into your chest. And this idiot stood by and let it happen. Ager. Okay, you also gotta be combative and stand your fucking ground. But also not too combative. That's bullshit, Ager. You weren't even in the room. No, I wasn't there, and that's exactly the problem. If I'd been in your place, Monica would still be alive and with us. Instead, I left her with you, and now my friend is a corpse in a basement. Look, Ager, Novacat's right. You weren't stuck in that basement with us. You don't know how things went down in there. So do us all a favor and shut it down, okay? Shut it down? Fuck that! Ager turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich, you know that, but you don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good. She was the best, right? But she was also overconfident. She treated the job like it was a game. Do that long enough and you're gonna get burned. Ager turns her focus back to you. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have figured all of this out on your own by now. You'd have known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Ager. Amsel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Ager pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured, but there's a fire in her eyes. How many seconds pass between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4? 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to a Decker's brain in 5 seconds? How dare you? You don't need to answer that. Of course you know. Monica died while you stood there and watched. This is all your That is enough! Amsel's voice comes out in a roar, and his fist smashes down on the desk behind him. Ager, you and Novacat can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you into something much bigger than he'd led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. This was supposed to be a milk run. Payback isn't the only reason we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're all still in danger. He pauses, rubs his temple. Agreed, and to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let us review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. The estate was just a front for whatever was going on in the basement. Amsel nods. That much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. That facility took serious funds to build. And time. There is more to it than we saw. Places like that don't spring up overnight. And all in secret. The owners, whoever they may be, were none too pleased by your escape, I'm sure. What else did you find? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. He appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about this orc come to mind? Any distinguishing features that I could look into? He was an older guy for sure. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he'd had skin grafts. Most of his face looked like replacement material. If the grafts came from a legitimate hospital, there may be medical records. That is something. I will see what I can find out. Did you note anything else during the run that may be of value? Monica lived long enough to say a name. Fireswing. She fought hard to tell us. It must be important. Amsel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewing. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me. This brings back many unpleasant memories. So there's something interesting about Shadowrun Dragonfall. and it's that the stuff that it deals with is stuff that is really bordering on stuff that they shouldn't be allowed to do. Because it's kind of like, I think it's, so, I think we are currently in the 6th world, right? But I think, what we're kind of touching on is stuff from, like, a kind of different TTRPG altogether that's owned by a different company. I'm very vague on the details. I read it, like, ages ago. And I just remember vague details about it. Because I think, Firewing is... Hold on, we can do some Googling. Shit. No, I can't find it. So I think it plays into... something else entirely. But... I can't find it. Let's look at the official Shadowrun wiki. This wiki is probably worse than the other one I was looking at, if I were to assume as much. Yep. Yeah. I can't find anything. Damn. Wait. No. Okay. We'll move on. But my brain's gonna be caught on that for, like, the rest of the night now. Glory raises an eyebrow. The Firewing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who would disagree, but they never experienced the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course, but for Germans of my generation, the name Firewing is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures full of patience and guile. Firewing was not. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Amsel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There was a haunted look in his eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, roasted alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation, and no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually, the Firewing was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course. But it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Vauclair that finally pierced her hide. She fell in a hail of bullets and rocket fire and crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. This event was called the Dragonfall. Safe at last from the dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Vauclair as a hero. Our own Siegfried, a modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. If the Dragonfall was as important an event as you make it out to be, I'm surprised that I've never heard of it. Those early years of the Awakening were traumatic, Ager. Not just on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals were being discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world. A new source of terror for a bewildered public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls gave rise to yet another wave of global panic. So yeah, this really brings it into light the time frame of when things happen in Shadowrun. 'Cause I think Magic returns to... Actually, no, it's not a specific date, but it's like gradual over time. And I think 2011 was when magic like largely awakened in the world. And yeah, 2021. It's okay. I've talked about this before, and I didn't really talk about it during Shadowrun Returns because it didn't prove to be relevant. But it is relevant in this because we deal with trolls and orcs a lot in Shadowrun Dragonfall. So in 2021, no, okay, we'll go back further. So in the early days of the Awakening, people, like babies started being born as dwarves and elves. And this was like kind of like one of the first steps in magic coming back to the world, because it kind of operates in cycles. Like, I think we are currently in the 6th world, and I think it's a cycle of like no magic, magic slowly building until there's a big event, and then magic leaves. So in this world, magic coming back to the world has, I think this is covered in Shadowrun Returns. Magic returning to the world has kind of coincided with like this like huge corporatization of the world and this like really advanced technology now. But in the early days of the Awakening here, babies were born as dwarves and elves, and that was weird. But like people slowly got used to it. You know, like, you know, elves and dwarves, that's within reasonable parameters for the most part. And then in 2021, there was an event that is colloquially referred to as the mass goblinization event, where people just suddenly transformed into orcs and trolls, like in the middle of their day. Like they weren't born as these, they just suddenly poof, they became an orc or a troll. And like that was really fucked up. And the issue with orcs and trolls is that in a lot of mythology they are portrayed as the bad guys, and they took the appearance of those mythical monsters, thus resulting in a lot of like really, really intense racism against orcs and trolls, which we are going to deal with pretty heavily in Shadowrun Dragonfall. It's like a side story, but like it's a, I would say it's kind of a big part of Shadowrun Dragonfall and a large part of why I like it. But like, the idea that one day you just suddenly become an orc or a troll when you're just like human is so fucked up. And then there's also like other fantasy races and stuff that, and we will kind of touch on that when it becomes relevant. Like obviously there's vampires and like zombies, but there's also stuff like Oni and like Yeti and all sorts of stuff, and that stems from one thing in particular that I'm not going to cover right now. We'll talk about when we get to it, because it's also fucked up. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise that Dr. Vauclair and the Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. Actually, that makes me wonder if one of the cycles of magic coming back was in King Arthur's reign, making him real in the Shadowrun world. I don't know. I think that's too far back for lore to really cover. If anything, I think it's probably the case that King Arthur would be an idol, like Siegfried, because Dietrich is a shaman under the idol of Siegfried. And I think the way idols work is just through the power of belief. So I think if anything, King Arthur might be an idol like Siegfried. Yeah. He rubs his temples. Again, all of this happened decades ago. To the best of my knowledge, the story of Fireswing is a bit of historical trivia and nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Ager sweeps between her eyes across the group, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Can I add a bit of gravel into Ager's voice? Let's see. This is not something I've attempted before. Any ideas? No. Wait, can I? This might be kind of cringe. It comes so easily when I'm doing male voices. Fuck. No, I don't think I can. Because, like, I feel like the way I do gravel conflicts with the way I do, like, more femme voices. It's like, that's in the back of the throat, and gravel is, like... It's hard to visualize, but gravel is... Oh, gravel is also in the back of the throat, 'cause it's like that. And, like... Oh, no. I can't do gravel and femme at the same time. That sucks for me. I'm a really limited voice actor. Amsel's voice trembles with frustration. No, it doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Fire Schwing has been dead and gone for 42 years. But there is one thing that I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she was trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself, takes a deep breath, and slowly releases it. I will look into this, and I will find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? That's all we got. That's not much. Amsel nods. His face is drawn and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement, a middle-aged orc with skin grafts, and a long-forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something. Who paid for this run? Amsel looks pained. I do not know his exact identity. I did not set up the run. Monica did. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job, but she assured me that it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-state political scene. This means Flux State. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. But Monica, she would do anything for her cause. Anything for the Flux State. He sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. We need to track down Monica's client and press him for information. Yes, most definitely. It is clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than he led Monica to believe. When he finds out what happened on the run, he's gonna probably grab it. We need to chase him down before that happens. So we need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There is a man here in the Cruise Bazaar, a Turk named Altug Burgazi. He owns a little soy calf shop just down the way called Cafe Kezva. Kezva, yep. This man is also a purveyor of information. I have done business with him from time to time. And you think he would know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of his people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I did not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altug and see what he knows about Green Winters. How do you pronounce that? Ugh. Hold on. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. This stuff matters to me. And, like, probably only to me. But I want to get it right. It's a 37-second YouTube video, which I don't think is...
Alto.
Oh, it's all two.
Alto.
All two? Well, there's Altug, which is German. But he's a Turk. So... Yeah, L2. Okay. Cool. Like I said, that stuff matters to me. Very well. I tell him I sent you. I will do what I can to dig into the information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. Alright. Hello? Oh, it saved. Right, I forgot this one hitches a lot more when it saves. We need to put some more points into... ranged combat. Since you're reading it out loud, it's probably a good idea to make sure. Yeah, exactly. If I was just reading it, it wouldn't be that much of a concern, but like I want to get it right if I'm reading it out loud. Oh, I kind of want fucking charisma though. You know what? Shadowrun Dragonfall is a game that like really heavily prioritizes Oh, did I already confirm the fucking... Oh, no, I didn't. Dragonfall really prioritizes charisma. So we'll do that. Let's talk to everybody. Novacat? Amsel peers at you apprehensively. His eyes are bloodshot, his expression grim. Oh, this is not much. Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is traced with a network of faint scars, the legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obvious that the shaman you see today is a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there is still an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Novacat, welcome. I've got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing, and we've got a fallen comrade to drink to. To Monica, Prost. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it, you catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. It tastes of sweet corn and walnuts with a lingering aftertaste of buttery toffee. I love Dietrich so much. Dietrich's so fucking good. You swallow a swig, then return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull on the bottle, then locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Novacat. What made you choose Berlin? Why do you want to know? Monica told me that you moved here from the Rheinruhr Megaplex. I want to look that up, because I don't think I ever looked that up. See, now, like, the issue with, like... playing Shadowrun Dragonfall is that it has a lot of stuff in it that's deeply interesting to me as somebody who's interested in the lore of Shadowrun. So I'm just gonna be looking stuff up constantly. Yeah, I know you were talking about someone else. I literally see him on screen. The Rheinruhr Megaplex dominates the most populous state of the AGS. What's the AGS? Allied German states. North Rheinruhr and occupies most of its area. It is multi-pod of various cultures. The local dialect is called Ruhr-speak and is a mixture of German, Polish, Turkish, Russian, and a few other languages, which makes it difficult for anyone to speak standard German, although most inhabitants are proficient in it as well. Huh. So it's just like another place, like... It's just a city, basically. Well, it's a state, I guess. Oh, wait, no. It's a megaplex. What is a megaplex? I don't know what a megaplex is. The Rheinruhr-plex has an excellent infrastructure, which is well developed not only in the inner city, but also between the cities. It's multiple cities. This is, however, constantly overloaded with traffic jams, and traffic jams are not a rarity. Although the cities that form the megaplex have grown together and thus form a common urban space, they still remain independent political units. Oh, that's really interesting. In the sprawl, organized crime syndicates are active. The true power, though, are not syndicates, but the gangs. The power is so complete that every year they hold a tournament in which thousands of gang members participate. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so the Rheinruhr Megaplex is like a cluster of cities, basically, and all those cities are like their own independent political units. That's interesting. I guess, like, Germany in this universe is kind of just prone to kind of anarchic structures. Because that sounds very chaotic. Made it sound like you'd been there for a good many years. Successful years at that. It's a man to wonder why he packed up and moved here. See, here's where we kind of flesh out our runner's background a little bit. Our run went bad, and my team paid the price. Dietrich raises an eyebrow. Went bad, huh? Like the run we just came back from went bad? Worse. I was the only survivor. That's rough, friend. How'd it happen? We were double-crossed. The run went off without a hitch, but instead of paying us, our client decided to set up an ambush. Miserable bastard. Alright, if what you're telling me is true, how'd you walk out alive? My team fought like hell, and we took the ambushers down, but we all got shut up, and I was the only one who survived. Sorry to hear. Sounds like it was a glorious fight, though. So after all this went down, you decided to bail out of the Verplex and head to Berlin. Am I getting that right? More or less. There wasn't much left for me in the Verplex, and Monica made me a hell of an offer. Ah, yes, Monica. Dietrich raises his bottle again, then raises his eyes and takes a long drink. After the moment has passed, he returns his attention to you. It all comes back to our girl, doesn't it? I imagine Dietrich very gruff. Because as we will hear later, he was literally in a punk band where he primarily just screamed. And also, like, he was very in the punk scene, so I imagine he did a lot of drugs, a lot of smoking, a lot of alcohol, like, and a lot of yelling. So it's like, his vocal cords are probably completely fried. So let me ask you, just what was your relationship with Monica anyway? I know that you two knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. We're treading into dangerously personal territory here. Are we? Sorry about that. Never been much for boundaries. All the same, I'd like if you'd tell me. Dietrich shrugs. I always intended to get to know Monica better, but it's too late to ask her in person. I knew Monica well enough to know what you mean. She did have a mysterious way about her. So, what was the deal between the two of you? Don't leave me in suspense. You know what? Because this is one of the very few instances of getting to be gay in these games. Let's just do it. We were very close. That's so. Dietrich raises an eyebrow. Huh. Learn something new every day. Yeah, now that I think about it, like, this is the gayest Shadowrun game, because, like, there's that, and then something else. And Shadowrun Hong Kong, I don't think has any, like, romantic companions. Well, anyway, good on you both. Dietrich raises his bottle to you in salute. She was a wonderful woman, and I hope that your time together was happy. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time, and the bottle's almost empty. Thanks for taking the time to talk. For what it's worth, I'm happy you're here with us. Thanks, Dietrich. At least someone is. You remember something in Hong Kong? I'm trying to think. Oh, I mean, there's Isabel and Gobbet, which are very obvious. Oh, yeah. Which are very obviously like a couple. But I don't think there's any gay that you can partake in Dragonfall. To the best of my recollection. Unless there's stuff that you can do with the male party members, I would never know. Because why would I? Dietrich takes a final pull on the bottle, then tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. Rest in peace, Monica. We'll miss you, girl. Okay, we gotta talk to Dante. As you start towards the safe house door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. I swear I met someone? Oh. Really? Yeah, it's been a while since I played Hong Kong. So, it's possible that I just forgot. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Oh, shit. Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy. We'll look after you. At the sight of Monica's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. He started whimpering about an hour ago. Turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop. Kept... He closes his eyes. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down and into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Look at this little pupper! I'm gonna give him a treat. Dante takes the treat in his mouth, but it's clear he has no appetite for it, and the jerky drops to the floor. He leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Novacat. Amsol takes a ragged breath and releases it. Then a slow, melancholy smile plays across his face. Well, perhaps a part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you're finished with Altu, mein Freunden. Fuck. How do you pronounce that? I should know that. Freunden? Freunden? Let's see. Freunden. Freunden. You can roll the R, but I can't roll my R's, but you roll the R on Freunden. But return to the safe house when you're finished with Altu, mein Freunden. With a little luck, he can help us locate Green Winters, and we can get to the bottom of this. He stares at the floor, and now, I think we should all take a moment. His lips tighten. For Monica. Alright, Dante, let's fucking go. I don't even want to look at Ager right now, but we gotta talk to her because it's very important that we do that. What is this room here? I don't know. I can't remember if this room is used for anything. Ager glares at you, and you can taste the bile in her stare. She clearly still blames you for Monica's death. Something I can do for you, fearless leader? Yeah, you can apologize for the little outburst that you had in front of Paul and the rest of the team. She replies through clenched teeth. You want to step away from me, Novacat. Right now. No, actually, I don't. Unless you intend to make me leave. It's tempting, Novacat. It's really fucking tempting. But no, I won't hurt you. Not unless you give me reason to. You're wrong about me, Ager. I intend to prove that to you. She stares at you for a moment, then looks away. Best of luck with that, Novacat. No, please. Leave me alone. Not just yet. We need to talk about Monica. Not right now, we don't. Don't push me on this, Novacat. One of these days, we're gonna hash this out, and you can talk all you like about the clusterfuck that killed one of my best friends. But it won't be today. Alright, cool, chill. Ager's so cool and chill. Glory is beautiful in a waifish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish in their delicacy, but there's something cold about her that you find slightly unsettling. What's more unsettling is her chrome. Glory is rocking a heavy loadout of cyberware from head to toe. She looks composed to be more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as this are anything but uncommon, but Glory's cyberware is first generation, all of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces. This chrome was obsolete well before she was born. Novacat? Glory shifts her gaze to you, but her expression is as cold and placid as always. Can I help you? Hey, Glory. How are you holding up? Don't worry about me. I'm solid. If you say you're good, you're good. I trust you. Glory's expression remains neutral, but she grants you with a barely perceptible nod. Any thoughts on what we should do next? Find our missing client, extract some answers. Beyond that, take jobs, get paid. I have a question for you, Glory, of the personal kind. I'm not big on sharing, sport. Personal reasons. You understand, I'm sure. Of course, we all have our secrets, but if you ever want to talk, I'm here. Alright. We have sown the seeds. It's time to hit the cruise bazaar. My absolute favorite location, I think, in any CRPG. Okay, I shouldn't say that. It's second only to the Howling in Rags in Disco Elysium. Like, the Howling in Rags is probably one of my... No, Cruise Bazaar is top. Howling in Rags is second. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah, that's right. The dwarvish tech vendor smiles at you with practiced ease, her almond eyes twinkling with the glare from a dozen trid screens. She speaks in a clipped, heavily accented German. Welcome to the Data Haven. Can I help you with anything? I need some tech and I'm on a tight schedule. Show me what you've got. You can buy a new deck, which is probably worth our while. However, what we should do is buy some programs. Do you have anything we can sell? ESPs are also really important, and I should probably actually use them. I don't usually use them, but I should. So what I could do is sell my current deck and get a new one. 3 programs, 1 ESP, evasion, 150, 2 ESPs. Yeah, that's just a hard upgrade. Do I need money for anything else? No, because you don't have to hire party members in this one. Weaponry would obviously be ideal, but that's obviously not our main concern right now. We should actually, hold on. Before we go to the cafe, let's have a little walk and talk with some of the people around, because that's very important. Yes, it is a very welcome change from Returns. Having to actually hire runners was like the worst part from Returns. At the sound of your approach, the orc turns to face you. He wears a severe expression, but there is kindness in his eyes. Guten Tag, dwarf. Can I help you with something? I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. I take it that you run a charity of some sort? He nods. Yes, it isn't much, but we do what we can. Such as? Give me specifics. He clears his throat, then begins to count off on his fingers. In the past several years, I've established a shelter where the dispossessed can sleep, a soup kitchen to feed the hungry, and a library for the people of the Cruise Bazaar to better themselves. It isn't much, I admit, but it's a start. A good start, Samuel. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. There are limits to what one man, even a determined man, can accomplish. This is true. He nods to the orc at his side. Thankfully, some of the residents that I've helped over the years have come back around to help me. I've got 15 assorted orcs and trolls from all around the Cruise Bazaar working with me now. They help me man the soup line, stock the library shelves, and to do all of the hundreds of other little things that a community organization needs done every day. These extraordinary individuals are living proof that what we do here has value. They are my inspiration to continue forward. She beams at the compliment. From her body language, it's clear that she idolizes Beckenbauer. Now, do you have any more questions? If not, I will bid you good day. I don't wish to sound self-important or rude, but there are many pressing matters that demand my time. I don't want to... Okay, I needed money for that, is what I needed money for. I wonder if I can sell that pay data that we got. Hold on. There's something for me to check out really quick. Samuel is doing good work. Samuel's a very good character. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. Pick up the receiver. A monotone, pitch-adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. The Shockwell and Writer's contact for this Kies is no more. Novacat is listed as a follow-up contact. This is our only secured line to this Kies. Please listen to the following instructions carefully, if you are a supporter of our cause. Continue listening. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each one, you may find a request posted for specific information. If you can obtain a copy of this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We will verify the authenticity of the information remotely and post an undoctored copy of it on the Matrix ourselves. It is our stated goal for this information to remain free to all. However, you will be compensated for sought-after information returned to this location. The line goes silent. Okay, I don't think we... Okay, I don't know... Oh, this statue's interesting, actually. A bizarre monument towers before you at the top of the pedestal. Oh, sorry. Wow, there was a period there. A bizarre monument towers before you. At the top of the pedestal, the form of an angel stands, its outstretched wings looming over the small park. But the material is strange and uneven, giving the statue a cold, Frankenstein-esque appearance. It appears that the artist has welded this monument together from various metal scraps and pieces of junk. As you approach, a small, grimy monitor at the base of the statue flickers dimly to life. The grainy face of a smug young orc appears on screen. Hello there, I'm Herbert Kunzel, the creator of this monument. What would you like to know? Is that your name? This is my tribute to victory, the victory of anarchy. It is both a citation and parody of a statue we destroyed some 20 years ago. You may remember it from the history trids as the Sigasaul, or Goldels. Sigasaul. I'm not gonna look that one up. That's the only mention of this fucking name. Isn't it obvious? The Sigasaul, a monument to the hubris of the Prussian state, gets blown to bits. So someone takes lots of bits and builds a monument to the hubris of anarchy. I mean, what more is there to say? About the artist. I am the visionary Herbert Kunzel from the Lindwurmer. You might know me from... Okay, well, there isn't much I'm known for. Yet. But I intend to change that. All art is born from misery, after all. It's a cool statue. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at my mission items, because we got that. Yeah, we got pay data. Useful information to someone who can take advantage of it. Altu? Oh, we should to Lane. Lane's good. Before you stands a troll, though it is a stretch to say he is standing at all. His great mass is barely held upright by two vintage prosthetic legs, along with a crutch under one arm. His body clicks and hums with every shift of his weight. Despite these disabilities, his eyes are sharp and calculating. I know you. Haven't been here long. New to the Cruise Bazaar, then. Heard Monica had some fresh meat in her stable. I'm Novacat, by the way. Good to meet you, Novacat. Name's Alexi Lane. What's your place in the Cruise Bazaar? No place, really. Just an old relic, rusting away. There's something you should know about Monica. Something happened to her on the run. I'm afraid so. There have already been whispers. I had a feeling, besides. Monica almost always comes around after a run to check on everybody. She's long overdue, and now here you are in her place. So, she's either severely wounded or outright dead. Which is it? I'm afraid she's gone. The grizzled troll nods grimly. The servos in his prosthetics complain as he lets loose a heavy sigh. Now that is a shame. She was a hell of a runner, that one. And a good friend. I'll leave you be. So, this game also does really well what I was talking a lot about during Shadowrun Returns, where, like, the sense of community is, like, the really important part of the game. This one does it better, and on a bigger scale, because the community is, like, this, like, neighborhood. And you actually check up with, like, all these little characters between all the runs and stuff. Warming herself in the dim light of a dying street lamp is a waif of a girl who looks far too worn for her years. The Mother Superior, she says there'll be seven for me to care for. I need to see them. 7 what? What do you have to care for? The captain's children. The Mother Superior says there are 7. She says I am to be governess to the children. You notice a chipjack poking out beneath the young woman's unruly hair. The vacant look in her eyes marks her as a likely BTL junkie, lost between reality and any number of better-than-life virtual constructs. I need money to get back to them. This story sounds familiar. Captain Von Trapp is very well known and respected. The poor dear lost his wife, and the children their mother. A child should not be without a mother, and a mother should not be without a child. Have you seen the captain? Look, do you know Monica? Monica? Is she one of the sisters at the Abbey? No, wait. Monica. A flicker of recognition fights through the haze in the young woman's eyes. Yes, Monica. She's good to me. Brings me food to eat and tea to drink. I'm afraid I have some bad news. Despite the woman's persistent delirium, she seems to glean meaning from your tone. She died? I'm sorry, she did. The girl grips her head with claw-like hands, tugging at her hair as if she might pull her brain out through her skull. I don't like this. I can't switch it off. The girl's frail body shudders and her eyes grow large, but she does not sob. Instead, she smiles a sad smile, which looks to have been worn all too often. She will go to heaven. She told me. It is a place for good people, stillborn babies, and childhood pets. And she was a good person. The girl then begins to mumble to herself while fingering the hair that covers a jack in her head. I'm going to step away now. Yes, good. I need to rejoin the children. Man! It's a really fucking tragic character. Zach Flash! An absolute piece of shit. This elf has clearly seen better days. His skin is weathered and emaciated, as though it has been stretched too thinly over his frame. Track marks line the crooks of his arms, and dirty bandages wrap his knuckles. Despite all of this, he seems cheerful enough. The elf fixes his twinkling, bugged-out eyes on yours and offers you a broad smile, displaying a set of impossibly white teeth. When he speaks to you, his voice is surprisingly deep. Guten Tag, mein Freunden. You here for some magic? Because Zach Flash... He gestures at himself with a dramatic flourish. Is your magic man? Magic? Are you a street mage? Zach lets out a throaty, barking laugh. Street mage? Me? Do I look like a street mage to you? He shakes his head, but his smile doesn't waver. He fishes a small bag of pills out of his back pocket and dangles it before your eyes. No, chummer, I'm not a street mage. I've got the magic in my blood and the magic in these bags. But you won't catch old Zach studying any spell books. Interesting. Let's talk about something else. Yeah, Flash is trash. Like, just the absolute worst. Well, alright, friend. What else would you like to talk about? Maybe you'd like to make a purchase. What's the deal with the special concoction? Flash's grin broadens even further. His mouth is disturbingly large, but there's something menacing about the sight of those two white teeth. This is the real deal, chummer. A proprietary blend, designed and delivered by yours truly. Pharmaceutical-grade kamikaze cut with genuine spirit residue from the shear, and then mixed with my secret blend of herbs and spices. He produces a small packet filled with iridescent purple granules from the pocket of his dirty jeans. You want to get high? Buy some Nova Coke and throw yourself a party. But if you want to soar, you get yourself some Flash. No. What's up with the bandages on your hands? Zach snorts out a short burst of laughter. He waggles his bandaged hands in front of you. Oh, these? Nothing much, chummer. Nothing much. Toasted with a spirit back in Amsterdam. You know, we elves are a very spiritual people. You fought a spirit with your bare hands? Did I say fought? Zach winks at you, his smile twisting up into a licentious smirk. I don't know what that means. I don't know the meaning of the word. Promiscuous and unprincipled in sexual matters. Okay. You can't help but noticing that his eyelashes appear to be dusted with glitter. Nah, chummer, Zach Flash is a lover, not a fighter. We partied, then we tussled. Hard not to get banged up under the circumstances. I'm calling bullshit on this one. Zach's smile vanishes. You're calling me a liar? To my face? You'd rather I do it behind your back? In an instant, Zach's disturbingly white smile returns. I just can't stay mad at you. Alright, chummer. You get that one for free. So where was I? Alright, the spirits. Elves, you know my people. Are creatures of the spirit. We've got magic in our blood, whether we sling spells or not. I'm telling you, I've talked with spirits my whole life. And it has nothing to do with praying into a totem or studying spell books. Flash lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. Between you and me, my mojo is stronger than any corp wage mages. Take those rat scum bastards at Az Technology. They cast spells all day and night, right? Fire this and lightning that. Just tossing them around like candy. Right. Well, me, I'm just doing my thing. Not casting spells. I'm storing up my energy. Saving it. Can you imagine how much magic I have? I don't think that's how it works, Zach. Trust me, friend. I have secret knowledge. He slowly turns his head from side to side to give you a good look at his upturned ears. Like I said, it's in the blood. Fascinating. Well, I've gotta run. Take care, Zach. Zach offers you a broad, exaggerated wave. Later on there, chum of mine. He is a funny character, I'll give him that. The Romani patriarch is an impressive figure, an enormous man in his late 60s, burly and broad-chested despite his age. His voice is deep and resonant, but his breath is heavy with a stench of pipe tobacco. Tovin Boxtail, dwarf. You're... Oh my god, Tovin Boxtale? Boxtail? Hold on. Boxtail. Tovin Boxtail. Literally to be lucky. It's literally hello. How do you pronounce it? Hold on. Boxtale. Teovan Box. Teovan Boftale. Teovan Boftale. Huh. You're here to conduct some business? If so, I welcome you to Metbach Arms and Ammunition. If not, keep right on walking. I was actually hoping to ask you a few questions. You make a purchase, you can ask as many questions as you like. The corner of his mouth twitches upwards. Make a big enough purchase and who knows, I might even answer a few. Yeah, I'll look. I can't afford anything because I spend all my money on stuff. But, you know, let's sell that. I wonder how much can we give Samuel? I just don't want to, like, do the option and then be like, oh, I've fucked myself out of giving him, like, the most money I can. Let's do a quick save.